Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Good morning, fantasy football fans, and welcome to season 3 of the Brady Fantasy Football Podcast. That's right, we're back for 2024 with another season here of our fantasy football league. I've got my season 1 mug. I've got my season 2 shirt here. Season 2 shirt, nice. And be on the lookout for something for season 3. We're cooking up something cool this year, so keep an eye out for that. But before we jump into the week 1 recap and all that, the very first news this year, with some housekeeping, is going to be we had 4 members depart and 4 members replace their spots. So first off, we had Scott of Cougnit, who fierce competitor, finished 3rd last year, 10-5. He won the league back 2-3 years ago. Upset Mahase, upset D, the Silver Spartans. It was a intense year, and so sad to see him go. Next, we have the vicious tiger-headed Cluck, or Clem Dog, Mr. Brian. He decided to move on, so he won't be joining us this year. My father of the Silver Spartans, he's been he's one of the original members there all the way back 10 years ago. In 2014 he joined us, and he decided to move on as well. And then finally we have the 3-time league loser, Amy, against all odds, who 3 in a row, 10th place. She was going to sing the national anthem again this year, and she's out. She's decided not to. You might have seen the resignation letter I put out. But she is out, and so with that, we've welcomed in 4 new members. We've welcomed in Shane, Josh, and Josh. So welcome, Shane, Josh, and Josh. Appreciate you guys joining us. And welcome to our new league mates. We're going to go through and introduce them a little bit to yourselves. So first, we got Shane. Shane is the brother-in-law of Jake, who joined us last year under Herb Enthusiasm. He's been in the league now this is his 3rd year, I believe. Returning this year as High Off Herbs. Shane is joining us this year as East Coast guys. He's one of the 2 guys on the East Coast. He's been playing fantasy football for 14 years. His favorite NFL team is the Eagles. He's originally from Sellersville, Pennsylvania, and his current town is Philly. His fun fact about himself is that he was a D2 offensive lineman. The guy knows ball. The guy knows game. He's here to play. Next off, we have Josh T, who's in his 4th year of fantasy football. He'll be joining us this year under the team name Penix Power. He is a big fan of the Falcons and the Texans, which makes sense because his hometown is Atlanta, Georgia, and he's currently residing in Austin, Texas. His fun fact about himself is that he once danced with the Jabberwockies, so this man is lean, mean, knows how to dance, and is ready to do the dance with us. He's ready to see how far he can get in this league, and we welcome him. Thank you, Josh T, for joining us. Thank you, Shane, for joining us. Next up, we got Josh H. Josh H is a friend of mine. I work with him. Been playing fantasy for the last 6 years. Favorite NFL team is the San Francisco 49ers, originally hailing from Sycamore, Illinois, and currently residing in Colorado Springs, Colorado. His fun fact about himself is that he has been black bear hunting. The man knows how to hunt, he knows the scent, he knows how to follow the tracks, and he is here to get the prize. He's here to bag it, boys. So look out. He's hunting around. Thank you for joining, Josh H. Glad to have you. He will be joining us under the team name Zero Dark Purdy, which I love. I love Zero Dark Purdy as a 49ers fan. That's great. I love it. Next up, we have Josh S. Josh S. is a childhood friend of mine. We've known each other. We go way back. He's been playing fantasy football for 8 years, and he put here in parentheses with 4 titles. So he's 50% on joining these leagues and winning them. So pretty insane. And I know he's hoping to do the same here. His favorite NFL team is the Chiefs, and he says, "Suck it, losers. Here comes the 3-peat." So big talk. Originally hails from Bothell, Washington, and currently residing in Bellevue. And his fun fact is, I don't know if you want to call it fun, but I mean, it's a fact. He's heavily addicted to the UFC betting, but he is up money, he says. So we up, and he thinks it's okay because he's up right now. So we'll see how that goes, and I wish you the best of luck with that, Josh. He will be playing this year under the team name Chiefs 3-peat, of course. Returning this year, we got Jace Leggett, 3-time champ. He's been playing for 6 years. Which I actually think he says 6 years. I think it's closer to like 9 in our league. But his favorite NFL team is the Seahawks. He hails from Bothell, Washington, and currently living in Spokane. His fun fact about himself is he is killer on drums. He is absolutely insane, from jazz to heavy metal to literally anything in between. Man knows how to drum. He knows how to stay on beat, and he's got the war drums going right now to try to get his title back from Liberty Bibbity. A little insider information: his victory song for the past 3 years has been Stir Fry, and he has been winning a lot. So Stir Fry by Migos has basically been a honorary theme song of this show almost, because of how often it plays. And last year, I know when Aaron won the championship against him and chose his victory song as Stir Fry, I know it got the Jace. I know that was a deep cut. It got him good. So I know Jace is back and ready to take the crown back, and especially looking for that Liberty Bibbity grudge match there between the two. And we're glad to have you back, Jace, the 3-time champ. He's back and trying again. Next, we have my friend Travis, who is joining us again this year. He joined us last year. It was a great addition. He's joining under the name Ice Brady. We'll get into that a little bit more. He's been playing fantasy football for 21 years. He retired for 3 till I dragged him out of it to join the league last year. He was kicking and screaming, but he had a good time. I know we know he had a good time. His favorite NFL team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's originally from Kennewick, Washington, and currently residing in Spokane. And his fun fact is that he loves to thrift and resell random items. His favorite find this year was paying 14 cents for a vintage Rainier beer can that he sold 30 minutes later for $125 on eBay. So, man knows the deal, man knows value. He's here to play. Following up with that, we got Jake, who I mentioned a little bit earlier. He is back. Last year he was Herb Enthusiasm. This year he is High Off Herbs. He's a big Chargers fan. He's hoping for another, a better year from them with under the new Harborough coach. He's been playing 10-ish years for fantasy. His favorite team is obviously the San Diego Chargers. He's originally from Huntington Beach and currently residing in Harleysville, PA. His fun fact is that he almost lost Corey, who's his friend, who's in this league, my brother-in-law Corey. He almost lost Corey's LA Kings jersey that was signed by 1 billion of the LA Kings players, and had a heart attack. So he says good times there. Thank you, Jake, for returning. We're glad to have you back. Following that, we got Corey, my other brother-in-law, who is joined us for his, I think this is the 3rd year. I could be wrong. I think this is also his 3rd year playing fantasy football. He says he's been playing for about 3. His favorite NFL team is anyone but the Chargers. He's also hails from Huntington Beach, California. He's currently residing in Cal Cerrado, Colorado. And his fun fact about himself is that despite not following the NFL, he's finished higher than Jake both years he's been in this league. So a little bit of smack talk coming in the fun fact. And hold up. I just had to go back and check the numbers. You guys have both been in this league 3 years. And take a look at this photo, the photo here. Jake has ended above you 2 out of 3 times, Corey. So you might have got him last year, but you have not. Even though you don't pay attention to football, I know that you're not quite accurate there. But hey, okay, anyway, we'll get back to it. Corey loves the smack talk, that's for sure. And next we have Aaron, my brother-in-law. Also goes by AK. He is last year's defending champ. He's back again to see if he can hold it. He's been playing fantasy for 3 years. His favorite team is the Houston Texans. He's out of Round Rock, Texas, and currently living in Leander, which is about 30 minutes north of Austin. Fun little fact, he's a big Iowa State fan as well, and so he's rooting for Breece Hall this year, and I think he got him on his team, so I know he's hyped about that. And his fun fact is, at one point, he could dunk on a 10-foot rim. Pretty impressive. That's a pretty good fun fact there, yeah. Great to have you back. We'll see how he does again. Last year he started 1-5 and then ran it back, and the entire time saying there's no way this could happen, Oh, it happened. It happened. So good to have you back, Aaron. We'll see if you can do it again this year. And yeah. And I think that covers everybody. I think the only person left is myself. I've been playing 10 years, big fan of the Patriots, originally from Bothell, currently residing in Austin, Texas. And my fun fact about myself, I guess, is in case people don't know, I published my first video game on Steam at 18 years old. That was a fun journey, and I learned a lot about it. And that's pretty much it. So thank you all for being here. That's all 10 of us in the league introduced, and we are going to go ahead and jump into the Week 1 matchups. Our first matchup of the year is myself, We're So Back, versus Ice Brady, which is Travis. A little bit of backstory about this, you might have seen in the intro. we had a friendly wager last year where week 1 we played each other, and we bet whoever won, the loser had to shave their legs. So last year Travis was the loser, he had to shave his legs. This year we did it again, and we bet that the loser has to do a 1 minute long ice bath. It's really not as much as a punishment in that same way it was shaving your legs, but definitely embarrassing to have to do something just because you lose fantasy football, just because you suck at fantasy football. So definitely not fun, definitely hit to the pride. So this week, as you can see from the score here, Ice Brady beat me. We're so back, so I had to pay up. Yeah, I might as well show that here. I'll show it here. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brady of the Brady Fantasy Football Podcast, and I'm here to pay up. I suck at fantasy football, turns out, and I lost week 1 to Travis, who's probably the worst fantasy football player I've ever had to go against. But if I'm lost to him, I don't know what that says about me. We bet whoever wins this matchup this week has to take an ice bath for a minute, which isn't that bad. I mean, better than having to shave my legs and having to let that regrow all summer or winter there. But I'm gonna hop in the tub, set the timer for a minute, and yeah, well played, Travis. Well played. Here we go. Ooh, okay, I think the best strategy is just to go quickly with it. Okay. That's a nut. Oh my god. Oh, okay. We're doing good so far. That's cold. He's gotta get a little bit lower. All the way down to the nips, perhaps. Okay. So this is about as good as I can get in the tub. And it is very, very cold. I'm trying to get the nips in, but okay, I'll get my arms in now. It's cold. It's very, very cold. Oh, I can already feel my appendages going numb. I tried to save my pee, but my penis is currently inside my body right now, so not able to use that. Guess we'll just hang out here for the next minute while I slowly lose feeling. I'm trying to get in as much as I can. This is about as good as it gets. This is my second attempt. I will make sure to show that here. I know that's gonna work. So I'm currently at my brother-in-law's place because he has a larger tub in an effort to make this more terrible for myself. Because I'm just trying to, pay up. Oh, God. It kind of just hurts now a little bit. Some of it went numb, but some stuff like my hands are just kind of hurting. I'm not keeping track of time, so hopefully we'll go another 25 seconds to be safe. But pleasure, Travis. It was a real pleasure playing this weekend. You got me this time. I will get my revenge in week 10, I'm sure, when we face off again. But well played, Travis. I appreciate it. Thank you for not making me shave my legs, appreciate that. And I'll see y'all soon. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so now you know what I had to pay. Let's jump into it a little bit. So basically with my draft, I picked Caleb Williams for my quarterback, which was, foolish in hindsight. Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, DJ Moore, Amon St. Brown was my one of one. I was the first round draft pick, and 1-1 I went Amon-Ra St. Brown because I'm believing that this year he was going to end like wide receiver 1 with the hype behind the Detroit Lions and all that stuff. Did not pay off here week 1. 5.3 points, super unfortunate, and they even made sure to mention it here in the recap. Justin Jefferson, the first round pick for Ice Brady, scored more than Amon-Ra St. Brown, the first round pick for We're So Back. Yeah, I know it didn't go so well. But no, rough first week. I had the lowest points in the league, and I had to take an ice bath, and now Travis gets to gloat about it all season, so kind of a rough hit to the mental there at the beginning of the year, but we'll just have to shake it off. On the other side, Travis's team did pretty damn great. Jalen Hurts did his job. Devontae Williams didn't do great, but Pacheco, Jefferson, Rashee Rice, tight ends across the board didn't do well, but Evan Ingram only got 1.5 points. Waddle did his job, and then really the story for week 1 is the kickers and the defenses went crazy. So he had Houston, I don't know how to say his name, Kyemi Fairbairn, 17 points, and Pittsburgh Steelers 13 points to my Harrison Butker 9 and Houston Texans 4. I mean, not good. So Travis gets the dub, moves to 1-0. I fall to 10th because of how poorly I did. So definitely a rough start to the season. Our next matchup of the week, Liberty Bibbidi versus High Off Herb. So the returning champ, Liberty Bibbidi, 122.48 to Jake's High Off Herb's 140.84. So let's jump into a little bit. I'm going to switch it over to here too so we can look a little bit better too. But right here, so Kyler Murray versus Joshua Allen. Joshua. I always call him Joshua. I know it says Josh Allen, but Joshua Allen, 31.18 points. Diggs with the 2 receiving touchdowns and the rushing yards and 33, all that, blah, 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 blah. 21.9 points. Absolutely crazy. Dicker getting 12 points. Dicker the kicker there, and the Chargers defense has been 16. One thing about Jake is at the end of the draft, he drafted 5 straight Chargers to end his draft, and it looks like it actually worked out okay because he played 2 of them here, the kicker and the defense. He benched the rest of them, and Herbert's benched. Dobbins was benched, unfortunately for him, and McConkey was benched. I mean, they all had a great showing. It's a great week for a Chargers fan, I believe. Next up, we got Kyler Murray on this side, Kyron Williams, Breece Hall, Deebo Samuel, Michael Pittman, Kyle Pitts, maybe finally having his year here. DeAndre Swift, 5 points. Jake Elliott, 10, and Cowboys 23. So again, I mean, the kind of theme of this week, I mean, there's 28 points here for the special teams and 33 points here on these special teams. So that's a big chunk of the points right there. Obviously, Aaron's team did pretty solid. He ended 7th on the week with his points scored, and Jake got 140, which is not the highest on the week by any means, but I mean, he ended 3rd, which is a great spot to be. He just barely beating Zero Dark Party there. And the 3rd on the week. Congratulations, Jake, to the 1-0. Last season, Aaron started the season 1-5, I believe. So we all know he's sandbagging. We all know he's just biding his time to come back here in the second half of the season. We'll keep an eye on him for sure. He's not done. Next up, we got Penix Power versus I'm Not Worthy, which is Josh T versus Corey. This was a close one. Very close one. 101 to 111. Corey ended up pulling it out, and big thanks to Worthy being on his bench, obviously, which is unfortunate. 20 points on the bench week 1. I know he was not alone in that, but still sucks to see. Tyreek Hill, 29, going off after his arrest there on his way to the stadium. Devontae Smith, 16 points as well. And then we have Devon A-Chains, the Dolphins doing work there. And then David Montgomery, the Machine, the Beast, unstoppable, just plowing through people, 16. Weakest spot on this team, surprisingly, with how most of the week went, was really, when it comes down to it, the special teams. The kicker and the Ravens defense did not do very well there in comparison to a lot of other teams. And we look across the way there, I mean, yeah, Tyler Bass, 10 points to Falcons, 6. We had CJ Stroud do great, James Conner do great, Josh Jacobs do okay, Devonta Adams doing his job, CeeDee Lamb maybe underperforming for where you grabbed him in the draft, because I think he was like the 3rd, 4th off the board, right? But I think Kittle, one of those only tight ends that was kind of doing his job here this week, at 8 points, and then Olave, 11 receiving yards with, I think, 2 catches. Not very good there, but it is what it is. I'm sure Josh T will bounce back here, and Corey is, I'm sure, happy to get that win. Finally switching from the Team 9 monkeyer to the I'm Not Worthy. So we'll see how that goes. Best of luck, Corey. Best of luck, Josh T this year. And Corey, I'm sure, is happy to start with a dub. Our next matchup of the week, Chiefs 3-peat versus East Coast Guy. And this is a rough welcome to the league by Josh S., who is new to the league, to Shane. Shane, it's a rough welcome to get your points doubled right off the bat there. But Josh is not messing around. You know, he was saying he's played 8 years and he's won 4 titles. He is not here to play. He's not here to mess around. He's not here to. It's not a game to him, right? Homeboy's here to win, just like the Chiefs. So he is all in. We'll just dive right into it here. So Patrick Mahomes doing his job. Saquon going crazy. Kenneth Walker doing a great job. Cooper Kupp looking like a return to form here. G. Wilson at 12. M. Andrews looking like the whole joke of this was he's a left guard or something now because of how much he didn't do. And Isaiah Likely went crazy with it. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. It seems like he was covered pretty tough, and Kansas City's no joke of a defense. So we'll see if that switch is coming up here. But Tank Dell, and then Evan McPherson and the Saints D going crazy at 21 points versus Carolina. Just a beautiful masterclass in how to stream your defenses there to pick whoever's playing up against Carolina. That's great from Josh Stevenson there, or that's great from Josh S there. So appreciate it, Josh. Way to come and swing in, and you left more points even on the bench. I mean, you had Aaron Jones and you had Jaden Daniels there. So crazy, absolutely crazy first week performance from Chiefs 3-peat, and we'll see if he can keep it up moving forward. On the other side of the ball, East Coast guy, his two bright spots here are Anthony Richardson. What a monster, what an absolute, that meme that this is what peak at male athleticism looks like. That's Anthony Richardson playing football. He absolutely went insano. 30 points versus Houston, and then a loss, but I mean, I'm sure we all saw that clip. I'll play here, that clip of that beautiful, just bomb, like 60 yards in the air bomb.
On 1st and 10, pressure's coming, Richardson slips, now he's airing it out, deep down the field for Pierce, touchdown! What a throw by Richardson!
A beautiful. Sadly, he did go with Christian McCaffrey in that first round. 0 points, did not play, and didn't have the opportunity to switch him out because it was called pretty close there. Travis Etienne, 11 points on, that's about where I'd want my running back to be, at least 10 points. So that's like a good floor there. Amari Cooper, I mean, the Browns look like a mess. Unfortunate there for you, Shane. Marvin Harrison, rough week 1 there, 1.4 points. Trey McBride, 8 points. I mean, not bad for tight ends this week. I mean, he's probably one of the top scoring tight ends, really, up there with Kittle. But 30 receiving yards, obviously like to see more. We'll see how that goes. Rashad White's the other bright spot here, 16 points. Following that at the end, we got Justin Tucker, and we got the 49ers D to put up a total of 14 points there. So nothing crazy. We'll go down to the bench here, and you'll see, he's got Steve Samuel, Gus Edwards, Shakir. Looks like it's going to be, in my opinion, that looks like it's going to be Josh Allen's dude, which, we're kind of seeing in the future a little bit here. We already saw the Thursday night Buffalo game, and I mean, in terms of like targets, receptions, it looks like he might be the dude. Obviously, not the first week you want if you're Shane here, but we're learning a lot in these first couple weeks as things go on. And then finally, into our last matchup of the week, we got Mahase, the 3-time Legged League champion, coming back with a vengeance. 146 points to Zero Dark Purdy's 140. Josh H did a great job competing this week. Excellent teams from both of them, and it just came down to that last little bit there where you see he kind of jumped ahead at Sunday Night Football. He pulled ahead right here, and just enough to win. So very close. Excellent competitiveness from both of you. Happy to see you both off to a pretty strong start there in terms of points, and we'll see how it continues to go. Tua Tagovailoa, we all know kind of what happened there on Thursday night now, so unfortunate there, but he had a great week 1, 21.62 points. Joe Mixon looking like a ridiculously feisty, just running machine, 27.8 points. James Cook, again, seen in the future, looks like it's going to be a solid pick. A.J. Brown, as always, reliable for Jalen Hurts. Absolutely beautiful week, 25.9. Puka Nacua. Rough news there. To be put on IR after that first week. He did get 8.2 points before he went out, though, because man cares about fantasy. 8.2 points, but he's going to have to find a new wide receiver 2 there. Dalton Kincaid had a pretty weak showing week 1 there, 2.1 points. Chris Godwin, 22.3. Excellent. I mean, again, Tampa Bay, that first week was great. We'll see if they can keep it up throughout the year. But, I mean, Baker, Godwin, Evans, Rashad White, they look like an offense that can compete. We'll see if it was just the Washington Commanders defense or if they're the real deal, but it looks good so far. Here towards the bottom, like special teams that we talked about earlier, 21 points from Aubrey against Cleveland. Absolutely insane. I mean, that's from a kicker to put up, the same points as your quarterback, basically, on a solid week, too. 21.62 points. I mean, wow. So, good pick up there. Bengals defense. I would never bet against New England. But that's just me. He has Ramondre Stevenson on the bench there. He has Jameson Williams there as well. So, he's got Pickens. I mean, he's got options here. He's not going to be worried. I mean, it sucks to lose Puka. He can throw him on IR, and then it looks like he's got some replacements already. On the other side, Zero Dark Purdy. Surprisingly, didn't grab Purdy. So he's got Lamar Jackson. So a little bit different meaning there, but he's got Lamar Jackson, 27 points. Mostert did play. This is from week 2 here because he did not play Thursday night. But 3.9 points, not what anyone wanted from Mostert. I think A-Chain really showed his dominance as the real RB1, and Mostert, I mean, he's just kind of there. He's helping. I mean, I guess a little bit, right? But I mean, definitely the A-Chain show now. Jonathan Taylor, 10 points. Again, a solid floor for a running back. Not what you really want to see from someone who maybe took in the second or third round. But, hey, it's not bad. Jamar Chase, after all the contract things, everyone freaked out about that. I mean, he showed up. 13 points. Again, solid floor. That's what you would love to see. That's what I would expect out of him each week in terms of production. Hopefully he gets more, but I mean, that's a 13 points is solid for where you probably took him in the draft. A loss against New England, which makes sense. I mean, you don't want to bet against us. And then Nico Collins, 18 points, solid. I mean, there's a big question of if CJ Stroud's going to be able to feed everybody. Nico Collins got some, Stephon Diggs got some, but I think Tank Dell really missed out this week. We'll see how that trends. I think it's going to be something where there's a little bit of one of them popping off every week. They also have Dalton Schultz, the tight end, who I don't think is going to be a monster in terms of fantasy points, but it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Travis Kelce, again, in keeping with tight ends not performing. Dalton Kincaid 2 and Travis Kelce 6.4. Really just crazy to see across the board. Tight ends just kind of do nothing, which is interesting. His flex spot, Mike Evans, 23 points. Bellissimo. You can see they stacked them right up against each other, and Mike Evans just did a teensy bit better, but great showing from both of them against the Washington Commanders. And then here down at the special teams again, D-Hop, not the wide receiver, the kicker, of course, is what I'm talking about. 7 points. And then at the bottom there, the Bears defense was the real big winner of week 1 there against Tennessee. 30 points, 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble, 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's insane. Caleb Williams has got to be buying them drinks or something, man, or whatever, protein powder, whatever they do there, because that's just insane to save his week 1 like that. Excellent work, Bears D. We'll see if they can keep it up. I do not expect that same level of production from them moving forward, but they look pretty good. I mean, I think a little bit lucky this week 1, but look pretty good. That's the week 1 matchups, and now we're gonna jump into the week 2 matchups, which are already started. And we'll start here with Corey versus Jace. Both of them had a bunch playing on Thursday night. Tugalova, 5 points before he got out. Hope he's okay, man. That's really scary. He did the whole thing with his hand again. That was like not a good sign. So hopefully head down to a running back. James Cook and A-Chain both going 29.5 head-to-head. Absolutely insane running back battle. Tyreek Hill, not a great showing, especially with Tua going out there. I think it was in the third quarter, I believe. It was the beginning of the third quarter. Kincaid had a little bit better of a week at 7.3. And that's about it for these guys. I don't think they had anyone on their bench either. So that's this matchup. Mahase versus Corey. Next, we're going to jump to me. I'm going to be playing against Josh T this week, Penix Power. And I've made some changes. I got Baker Mayfield in there as my quarterback. Got rid of Caleb Williams, and maybe I'll regret it, but I'm not missing them yet. I did swap in that Patriots D because they versus the Seahawks this week, which gets me into another talking point. I am not playing against Josh S this week. I'm playing up against Josh T, but Chiefs 3-peat, Josh S and I. He is also a big Seahawks fan. So we've made a friendly wager again this week where we will both, if the Patriots beat the Seahawks, I win. If the Seahawks beat the Patriots, he wins. Where the loser has to chop up an onion to make themselves cry and collect the tears in a shot glass and then drink their own tears. Which, I mean, when I read it out like that, it sounds a little sadistic or something. But when I was thinking of it, I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. Or not fun to do, but, fun to watch Josh S do. So that's the side bet going on this week. I don't know if I'm gonna have a side bet every week. I don't really want to be doing stuff like this all the time, but in case I do end up losing. But as of right now, I'm not scared of losing. I think the Patriots are gonna slam the Seahawks, and Josh will be drinking his tears literally. So excited to see that. But moving on to the matchup, I'm up against Penix Power here, and I'm looking at his team. I don't think he's made very many adjustments, which is fine. He's got Olave's benched now, but pretty much the same team. I switched out Baker Mayfield, got a new defense. I think maybe he got a new defense as well. But right now he is projected to defeat me 121-107, which is a pretty big gap, actually. And that just has to do with my team. I mean, I don't really have an explanation for that besides, they they just don't think my team's going to do well, which is unfortunate. But I'm believing. He did have one person play Thursday night, Tyler Bass, who got 7 points, which is a solid floor for a kicker there. Happy to see that. He didn't go crazy and get like 21 points or something like that, so good news for me. But yeah, that's that for this week. Best of luck, Josh T. And I hope you lose, Josh S. Next up, Ice Brady versus Liberty Bibbity, Travis versus Aaron. And the only person who played on this between these two on Thursday night was Jalen Waddle, who got 8.5 points in that loss to Buffalo. Going on the benches, there's been a couple swaps happening, and I haven't been able to track them all. We're just kind of jumping into it, but Bowers is in there, and I think that should be interesting to see how he does. Brian Thomas looked great, so he's in there. And really, we'll see what happens. Right now, the projections are having Aaron beat Travis. And looking at this, just myself a little bit, doing some quick calculations. That's not very quick, but I think I'm going to give it to Travis. I think Travis gets the dub this week, despite maybe a not great showing from Waddle. I'm liking his matchups a little bit better. So best of luck, Travis. Best of luck, Aaron. I'd rather see Aaron win, so Travis can go 1-1, because Travis is probably one of the worst fantasy players I've ever had the displeasure of going against. Best of luck, you two. We'll see what happens. Next up, we got Jake High Off Herbs versus Shane. So Shane versus his brother-in-law Jake there. One person played, Josh Allen, who only got 10.76 points, which is a far cry from last week's 31 points he got. Luckily for him, Shane has no Christian McCaffrey again. Christian McCaffrey's been ruled out, and at this point is they're talking about putting him on IR. Luckily for Shane, though, he did not start C. Samuel, who only got 1.3 points in the loss to Miami. Unfortunate for him, perhaps, was he did not start Shakir, who I had talked about, I think is going to be Josh Allen's guy, who got a solid 10.6 points. Nothing to laugh about, right? That's about what Josh Allen put up this week. So we'll see what happens there. Right now the projections are in Jake's favor, and we'll see what happens. If I had to do a quick guesstimate looking at this, I would give it to Jake as well. I think I like his odds a little bit better looking at those matchups, because he's got LA playing against Carolina, which I'm surprised he didn't throw Herb in at the first spot. I guess he doesn't believe in his home team as much as I do. No, I'm kidding. If I really believed in him that much, I would have started Brissett, which, not there yet. Next up, we already did this one. So next up, we got Chiefs 3P versus Zero Dark Purdy. Both strong showings week one. Josh H ended up not getting the dub despite having a very high scoring game, and Josh did get the most. He had the highest in the league, so he started strong there, strong statement. Right now the projections are leaning a little bit in Josh H's favor. Zero Dark Purdy there. Let's take a look at what's going on down here. I see Josh has Tank Dellin, who did not do very well last week. He has Kupp in, Barkley in, Mahomes in. Saints D versus Dallas is an interesting decision. Saints did great last week versus the Panthers, but Dallas are not the Panthers, so we'll see how that goes. Over here, we got Lamar Jackson, Jonathan Taylor, Smooth. I see Josh H picked up Mason here, who's replacing CMC, and they're up against Minnesota, so that should be a great start. Jamar Chase versus KC. KC's a pretty good defense, but it should be interesting. Nico Collins versus Tank Dell, something I'll be watching here pretty closely. Kelsey versus Andrews is another one where both these guys had a pretty rough week one, and I'm sure both of them are looking to bounce back. Evans versus Detroit should be a shootout. Hopkins, I just don't like Hopkins. I get the Browns can't do stuff on offense, but I don't even think he can get into field goal range, so not a big fan of the Hopkins pick there. And then Chiefs D versus the Chiefs 3P. Love to see their own weapons being used against them, so... with that, taking a quick look at this, I like Josh H's team better, Zero Dark Purdy here. I think I'm going to give the dub to him, and I just really hope Josh S loses both in fantasy and the Seahawks lose this week, so that I don't have to drink my tears. That'll pretty much do it. I'm hoping to do a little bit more of this format heading into this year, but I'm trying to do this quickly this today, just to make sure I can get it out there for you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. I appreciate y'all joining the league and being along for the ride. And we'll see how week 2 goes. And I'll see you next week, either with a video of me drinking my own tears or of Josh S drinking his own tears, which I really hope it's the latter. And he's been dogging a big game, so you love when someone talks a big game before they lose. So we'll see how it goes. But best of luck to you all, except for Josh S. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye bye.